Hey guys, I'm back. I was just recording the other thing because I'm going to send that link to someone else, so I had to keep it short. Uh, and I can't wait to see you guys jumping over here. So come on over. Okay, I'll hold on a little bit. Okay. Okay, there we go. Yes, we're back. Okay, we'll wait. I know there was Jeff and Dave was on there, and I can't remember who else was on there. So hopefully they heard me say that, I have to keep this one short, but I'll be back. Hey, Pat, Sharon, Melvin. There we go. There's Dave. Now we're waiting on Jeff Yarrington. Come on, Jeffy. Come on. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I, like I said, this is the other recording is a special recording for, well, I'm going to send it over to Dixie Cryptid. He mentioned that there was, that he was looking for scary stories and so on and so forth. And hey, if he chooses mine, good, maybe, maybe not. I'm not too much on being on a TV show or anything like that. I was I was already on Small Town Monsters on their what is it called? The Ridge, about Chestnut Ridge series. And so, I'm not one chasing, especially not fame and fortune ain't gonna happen. Hey, Paro, good to see you. Pat Joe said he's whipping you. Hey, Amanda, good to see you. Yeah, I know a lot of you jumped on there. I was intending to only put the other video that I had on just to record it, not for it to be alive. But somehow the settings here switched up on me. Maybe because I've got the free StreamYard. I don't pay for the plan, and so my options are limited. Yeah, so, any of you, if you're familiar with Dixie Cryptid's channel, he had put out a video yesterday. Yeah, Amanda. Yeah, Dixie Cryptid Cam put out a video yesterday about that he's looking for stories of unusual cryptids, different encounters, just unusual, unique encounters with other cryptids. Or he mentioned that he was looking for also videos or stories about people who had who were trapped or in their homes or whatever, by Bigfoot. And I thought, thanks, Dave. Yes, don't make me mad. Don't make me angry. But But anyway, and in this way, by my telling you now, by jumping on again, this way, if you have had something traumatic encounter, that you can make a short video, or Cam also said, you can just write it out in a short note and send it over to him. And his email is dixiecryptid@gmail.com. And so, whenever he mentioned that, and other people said, well, why don't you send in, one of your stories? And I thought, oh, I really don't want to, but I thought, okay, what the heck? I'll try it. Oh, thanks, Amanda. Spank the hearts on the right side of the chat. It helps. It honestly does. Yeah, Dixie Cryptid. Yeah, Cam. He is such a sweet guy. I've met him a couple times, and he even had one of my stories on his channel a few years ago. I can't remember when, and I'm trying to remember. Oh, it was the story that he had on there. It's the only story that I had sent in to him, was the one from Oklahoma, where I saw the Bigfoot running across the parking lot of the casino, and so that was the story that he had. Hey, Ken, good to see ya. Yeah, this is just a surprise video for myself also. I honestly wasn't planning on coming on live, but I was recording another video, and I got it recorded so I can send it over to Dixie Cryptid, and I'll get that one sent over. And then a bunch of you jumped on, and so I said, well, I have to, I got to jump on and say hi to you guys. I can't ignore you, especially since Wednesday. I was going to have Miss Vicky on, and I had everything set up, and my internet went out again. Last time it went out, it was out for about 24 hours, drove me batty. And Wednesday, maybe it's all the storms, I'm not sure. But yeah, the internet went out again. And unfortunately, I had to cancel, Wednesday's podcast. So Vicki and I were currently figuring out a date to reschedule. I also have, let me look, I think I've got, let me look at my schedule, because we've got some really nice guests coming up here. All right, yes, June 4th. I'm going to have a good friend of mine. He is a pastor. I'm going to have another pastor on. So in this one, he is not constrained by rules and regulations of the church board or anything like that. He can talk openly. Amanda, anytime, if I don't know where you live at, but one of these days, maybe we can get together, maybe at a camp out or something, one of the meet and greets. That'd be fun. That'd be awesome. But but next week, well, Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, is, well, I'll just leave it a secret. But this guy, he has been on the Finding Bigfoot TV show. He is a pastor. He's retired military and military chaplain, and fantastic guy. very open. In fact, in his church, he talks about Bigfoot in his messages. So it's going to be a fun one. I think it's going to be a fun one. So I hope that all of you can make it back on, and for that episode, and bring all your questions. Bring all your questions about Bigfoot, the Bible, Nephilim, whatever it is. Oh my God, Pat, I just had one of those. I just had one of my pepperoni rolls for lunch. Oh, they're good. This particular batch, I mean, really turned out good. My husband said, whatever you did to this recipe, make it like that every time. So I said, I'll try. Sometimes I mix things up and it's okay. It depends, whenever you're making dough in particular, and we're going to get off of Bigfoot right now and into cooking and baking. But whenever you make dough, the consistency and the quantity of your ingredients are different. If it's a little bit more humid out, then you may need less water or more flour. And so, I had to mix up the proportions of water and flour a little bit to get the consistency perfect. So I think I had, I don't know, I think it was around maybe 7.5 cups of flour and maybe 2.25 cups of water. And so it was a little bit off than what I normally do. But like I said, it turned out really, really good. But yeah, Wednesday, make sure you come back on 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. It's, I'm going to have Pastor Fody is his name, Tom Fody. He's been on Finding Bigfoot. Like I said, he's a retired military chaplain. He does have a church here in the Pittsburgh area. And I live about 40 miles north of Pittsburgh, so I don't attend church there. It's a little bit too far. But I think he does video it. It might be online. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to ask him. Yeah, trying to think what, last Wednesday, the episode, day before yesterday, the episode that Miss Vicky was supposed to be on, she and I were talking. She said, well, this will give me a little bit more time to research a little bit more into the area that she plans on talking about. Hey, Blackie. Wade, how you doing? But yeah, I think that's going to be an excellent episode with Miss Vicky. And let me see, June. Ooh, I don't have anyone scheduled. Okay, June 11 and June 18th. Okay, June 18, I'm not really certain if I'll be able to have a podcast that evening because I plan on leaving a day early for the camp out, and I usually do this, that way I'm up there alone, in the area, just in case, there's activity on, I want to be there alone. So the 18th, most likely I won't have a podcast. But June 25th, we will have Brian Seach. I don't know if you're familiar with Brian. He has been on, he's a local guy, local researcher. He's a paranormal researcher. He researches ghosts, UFOs, orbs, Bigfoot, other cryptids. He runs the Center for Unexplained Events and the Center for Cryptozoological Studies, CCS and CUE. And fantastic guy, so very experienced at this. You know, both he and Fred Saluga, I think they were the first Bigfoot researchers that I had met whenever I was first starting out, because they were local, and I had showed them, or I'd shown, called Brian Seach, and he and his team had come over at my house and were checking things out because I had found some possible footprints. Well, the print that I'd found, I thought, this was, like I said, very early on. I wasn't very experienced. I'd found footprints before, up on the property behind my home. And the one day, the day that I called on Brian, I had found a print, possible print, but I wasn't sure of it because it was flat. There were no, whenever you press your foot, into the soft ground, there's variations of depth, from the pressure points of your foot, Hey. Oh, okay. Hey, thank you so much, Amanda, for jumping in. I appreciate it. You have a great day at work, and we'll see you. Yeah, see you next time. Yeah, whenever you put it, like I said, there's different levels, to the print. I know I'm showing my arm or my hand here, but, from the pressure points of your foot, there's different depths to, like your heel and your toes. This print was completely flat. There was a rock sitting next to this, and it wasn't until Brian got there and his team that I thought, wait a minute, this rock. So I asked his researcher, who was up on the hill with me, I said, he was carrying a water bottle, and I asked him, can you pour your water on this rock, please? And so he poured his water on the rock, and as he poured the water on, it brought out that exact shape of the footprint, what I thought was a footprint. And that's what it was. The rock apparently had been down and left that. Hey, Dishizzle. Roger. Good to see you. And let me think. But somehow this rock got tilted up. So, all you saw was, the side of this rock, and then the impression that was, honestly, it was the shape of a foot, but it was all level. There was no variations in depth that a normal footprint would show. But it wasn't until, I had the other researcher pour water on the side of that rock that the impression came out, the shape came out of that foot-shaped print. It was just strange. But again, that was the first day that I had actually met Brian Seach and his team in person. And it was fantastic. We're good friends now. And later on, I met with Fred Saluga. I had Fred on. Hey, Tara. Yeah, I had Fred on a few weeks ago. So if you missed that episode, make sure you get on and watch it. Fred, oh my God. I love Fred. He is just he has been experienced in research, paranormal research, for what, 40, 50 years, something like that. And Brian Seach, he's been doing this for 30, 40 years also. Brian Seach, again, he will be on, let me bring up, June 25th. Now, he has been on many multiple Small Town Monsters episodes. He has also been on a few TV shows on the paranormal. The one show that has the guy with the crazy hair. Can't remember his name. But honestly can't remember what the name of that show was, because at that time I didn't have cable, so I didn't see these TV shows. So if anyone remembers the name of that TV show where they had all kinds of different paranormal things, because they did an episode, it was local on that's what it called, the Shenango Dog Boy. So if you look that up, let me just do a real quick YouTube search myself, and that way I'll remember the name of the show, the TV show, because he's been on multiple episodes of that. Shenango Dog Boy. Okay, let's see. Destination America, Monsters and Mysteries. Let me back it up. Monsters and Mysteries. Why on earth? Of course. So it goes to a commercial. Might be Monsters and Mysteries in America or something like, yeah. Monsters and Mysteries in America, TV show on Destination America YouTube channel. And but he's been on multiple episodes of that Monsters and Mysteries in America, along with a few other TV shows. He's been on a few movies and other TV episodes. He's the local, if you can call him, anyone an expert in this, he's as close to that level that you can get, at least overall, for overall paranormal experience. But the funny thing is, Brian has never seen a Bigfoot. I've been wanting to bring him down to Land Between the Lakes, to one of the meet and greets, he and his beautiful wife, Terry, and get them down there, but maybe one of these days. Hey, does anyone want to get on here with me and just talk? Anything going on? Share. I'm not going to put the link there because I don't know. Well, I'll tell you what. I will anyway. I will be careful as to who I bring on. But if you have something going on that you want to talk about, something paranormal, Bigfoot, um, I know, um, I know at least one of you had, no, two of you had something really impactful that's happened recently, and regarding a video. Oh, okay. You're in Upper St. Clair. Very cool. Yeah, I used to go to church in Upper St. Clair. I used to live in El Rama, little town called El Rama. And I went to church in Upper St. Clair to the, what was that called? The Bible, something Bible church. I can't remember. South Hills Bible Chapel. That's what it was. South Hills Bible Chapel. And that's been many, many, many moons ago. Oh, the shizzle, you had something. Oh, okay. Well, click the link and come on if you want to talk about it. Anyone else that wants to, click the link. Like I said, there's two of you that in particular that had something impactful happen recently, and if you want to talk about it, jump on. Yeah, so come on, the shizzle. I want to, everyone is saying, we want to hear about it. If you feel like jumping on and talking about it, come on. Get on here. Come on down. Oh, she's at work. Oh, let me see. Let me scroll up. You just had something happen to you at work, paranormal and Bigfoot related. Well, Price is Right. Yes. Come on down. Well, maybe the shizzle is trying to get on with the link, because sometimes you have to work through the StreamYard system, make sure that it's compatible with your phone or your tablet or whatever it is that you're on. So we'll see. We shall see. We'll find out. We'll find out. So let's see. Hey, Debbie. Hey, good to see you. Wow. I don't know if I've ever seen you on here, on one of my podcasts or not, or maybe very, very rarely. Good to catch you. Wow. So you off today? Hey, I miss you too, Deb. Debbie and I, we've camped together and researched together. We've had fantastic times. She's got a really great research area. I don't know if she still goes there or not, but hey, Dusty, give me a minute or so, I'll bring you on. And Dusty Nod, are you the shizzle? Give me a thumbs up, Dusty. Are you the shizzle? Okay, good. Thank you. Oh, you're going to the farm today. Great, Deb. All right. That's wonderful. Okay, tell you what, guys. As soon as Dusty gives me a thumbs up that he's ready to come on, the shizzle. Deb, unfortunately, I don't know if you've heard about it, but I have long COVID, and I unfortunately am physically incapable of doing things like that anymore. My health has been, my energy level just is not there as well as, I can walk across a room and I'm out of breath. Yeah, it's just the way, unfortunately. Yeah. That's why that I've been turning it down for a while with you. I'd love to go in there with you. I miss going there because I know it's a really great research area. But hopefully, keep me in your prayers. I'm working with a pulmonologist and my GP, and we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, things will get better, and I'll be able to work on getting my energy level back up again to where I can get back out there, boots on the ground, because God, I miss it. I miss hiking terribly. Okay, guys, I'm going to bring Dusty. Hey, Dusty. Oh, wait a minute. I think, hold on a second. All
Can
right.
you hear me?
Oh, there you are.
All right.
Now you're the shizzle?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was uh I was at the camp out up in Michaud.
Oh,
Yeah, I was on with Jeff and Old Line on
yes, that's
the
right.
show.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I was actually it's just weird that you had a live podcast going today. I missed not well, I looked for you last night and didn't see you on, so I
Nope.
was like, man, I really hope everything's okay.
Yeah.
Um,
My
but
internet went down.
yeah, our one TV's been on the fritz, so that's kind of weird. It's a
Oh,
newer TV too. So,
oh,
but yeah, you had mentioned also the Small Town Monsters, and I had just watched one of their podcasts today.
okay.
The newest ones about the Al Moon, something another. It was like episode 2 or whatever, or episode 14, part 2.
Oh,
Um, so I guess it just dropped like yesterday. If you
oh,
weren't one of their joined members, like paid members or what have you.
oh, okay. No, I'm not.
But it got into the paranormal and Bigfoot, and it's kind of like one of them town hall things where he brought his stuff out and displayed and everything. And I watched that all the way through while I was here at work, and I kind of like while I was watching it had like this epiphany thought because I can't quote exactly who. I'm at work, by the way. You might hear some background noise,
Oh, okay.
but um, it ended up getting into like some biblical type stuff,
Oh,
and like how they. And I've always thought, like ever since I had my experience, that possibly um like there was a fork in the road somewhere, and we split off. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
Um, between us and them, what have you. And I just had this like something pop into my head. And if you guys have ever referred back to any of my previous episodes and other things, I was one individual that had encountered with the mind speak aspect.
Okay.
And it actually, while it was doing it, because it was weird, I didn't even pick up on it at first. It was like I was talking to myself, but using two voices in my head. It
Oh,
was weird. It was so weird. And like after about like the fifth or seventh question in, I'm like, hold on here. who am I talking to? Like, while I'm out in the middle of the woods hunting, like in a
Wow.
earthen ground blind that I had manufactured, me and my sons. It
Hmm.
was a very odd experience, um, but uplifting as well. Like it was scary, but it left you feeling it with a different sense. You know what I mean? Like a different feeling.
Hmm.
Um, so I'm wondering, like this just flashed in my head while I'm scraping actually these panels that I'm resting on right now.
Ooh.
Before I went to the planer, and I'm like, what if, the beginning, going back to the beginning, because this episode also talks about the paranormal, also with other entities, like the star people or aliens, whatever you want to say,
Okay.
or refer as. Everybody has other theories on all that stuff. What if that beginning story, say we ate from the tree of knowledge, and that's why we are clothed,
Hmm.
we have all this technology, all
Right.
this stuff. What if that was us before we ate from the tree of knowledge?
Hmm.
And that's why they're not clothed. They lived out in the elements all their life for centuries or eons, whatever,
Yeah.
and it's just something that had came to me, like it
Yeah.
just like flashed to me, and I was like, and then yes, just jumped on here and saw you. I was like, maybe I'm supposed to say this out loud, like what if,
Yeah. Well,
this is
that's a,
us.
fascinating concept. Something else to think about. Now, have you read the books of what's his name? Stitchin? Uh,
I have not
not
read
okay.
them. I have researched certain references from many uh, books and ancient texts and everything, because I've always been a person that looks at everything universally through all angles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've always been like trying to figure it out.
Yeah. Well, you,
So
you kind of have to with this because we don't know. We're only guessing. We do have some facts, but we don't know if those facts are skewed or our view of those facts is not quite true. Um,
everybody has their own interpretation on
yes,
everything throughout
right,
life. So I mean, something can happen to 100 people. Not 100 people are going to say the same exact thing.
right.
They're all going to have their own interpretation or spin on it. So,
Mm-hmm.
but
No, it's a
it was
fascinating
just
concept.
very interesting that how all these cards just kind of lined up like that today.
Yeah,
And I was just like, hey, let's give it a whirl.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Get it
throw
on there.
it out there to the universe to see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey,
But I
Pat, I
can't
see you're
see
on
it.
there also. Hold on a second. I'm going to bring Pat on because she
Okay.
jumped in. Hey, Pat.
Hey, hey, Mary. Hey, Dusty.
Hello.
Now, Pat, you heard what Dusty just was talking about?
Yes, I heard a little bit of it. Yes, yes,
Yeah, that's a fascinating concept, I think.
yes, exactly, exactly.
Another thing that makes me think, like, kind of validates it to me, is you hear these encounters or whatever, sightings of where there's been people and Sasquatch or whatever abducted too.
Mm-hmm.
Who's to
Yeah,
say? Maybe we're looking at this as aliens. Maybe this is what the actual, like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to get too religious or spiritual with it, but maybe those are what actually people interpreted into angels are, and
Right.
they're trying to find out who's going to get the real knowledge here. Like, who's going to really get it? That's just something, a take from me. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah. Tara says it's an intriguing thought.
Yes.
No such thing as a coincidence.
yeah, exactly.
And Ken says, Dusty, I do feel these people are ancient. Yes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
There was one reference, if you guys check out that episode of the
Small
episode,
town monsters.
yeah, that one. Um, he is in with that guy that wrote that book and had a Star Child skull or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Like that, I forget his name. I'm drawing a blank because I got all this stuff going on
Yeah.
here at work while I'm doing this too. So, yeah. Um, yeah, I was just on my lunch break and I was like, I happened to jump on or catch you on here.
Yeah. I'm glad you did.
Oh, yes. Glad you did. It's all connected. It
Yeah.
appears that way.
I mean,
Yeah.
more and more
This-
things and stuff. They're getting to be leading towards these things. There's definitely a lot of different things, and I mean, like that's why we have technology, and maybe they're able to use different ability or stay tuned into different abilities that we have calloused over per se.
Mhm.
Maybe
Oh,
we could have used to be able to do it, but with
okay. Here I am.
you know between low frequency waves and all kinds of stuff. Like I don't want to get all crazy like down the big rabbit hole with it or nothing, but like there is proof and evidence of all these things,
Yeah.
and like with the whole fluoride thing, all that stuff. Like I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, you're right. There's so many different things going on, and we're being led in a certain direction also by the powers that be. And we
yeah,
don't know, okay, are we being, well, yeah, we are being led deliberately, but is it in the right direction or is it kind of misdirection?
yeah,
So yeah, I don't know,
Mhm. I
but
agree. I agree because that's the reason I have chose to tell my story, as outrageous as it
yeah.
is because we all need to know. We're not. This is not being shared with us by the government and everyone else.
No.
And it happens. They are there. They are real. And
Mm-hmm.
there's not more that you cannot believe just in one cryptid. I've
No.
learned that. I've
No.
learned that.
yeah.
Yes, you
There's
did.
all kinds of stuff in this world that don't have enough light shined on it. Let's just say.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I've always been in tune with supernatural and paranormal stuff all my life, even as a
Yeah.
child. So I've actually had an outer
Right.
body experience when I fell out of a second-story window and landed on my
Uh,
head as a kid. I
Oh my
Mm,
literally
goodness.
knocked my soul out of my body and was
mm.
hovering over my brother, running to the barn to tell my dad that I fell out of the window
Oh
while he was
my.
cleaning
Wow.
away in the barn. It was and then I woke up a day later in the hospital.
Wow.
It was wild.
That is wild. That is.
That is. Jeez. Did you
I don't
tell
share that
your
with a lot of people. Well,
did you
all that
tell
and
your
watch.
brother and your dad
Oh,
about it?
yeah, yeah. I mean, I grew up in in an old log house that was built um back in the settler times.
Mm-hmm.
Like they built the blacksmith shop and lived in that as they were building the house, type of thing. I would
Mm-hmm.
wake up in the middle of the night to go take a pee when I was a kid, middle of the summertime, and I'd hear horses and wagons being drawn, people talking, people banging on anvils, like I was in my own little freaking boom town or something. Like it was
Yeah.
wild. And I'd go
You're,
tell my parents, and they'd look at each other like, "Oh, you've witnessed stuff," but didn't want to tell us because it freaked us out when we were and stuff. So,
yeah.
um,
Yeah.
yeah,
I know I
With
lived
each
in
other,
an old,
like, oh, he's seeing it stuff too. Like,
yeah, that's amazing. Like your own time vortex.
yeah, it was
Almost.
pretty wild. It was kind of scary at first,
Yeah,
but
I'll bet. Yeah,
right,
no, I
apparition
lived
of
in an old farmhouse also,
yeah,
and little things going on there. The old owner wandering around the house. So
yeah.
yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I've dealt with that one before too.
Yep.
You move into an old house and there's like shoes in the wall, and it's like little
Hmm.
shoes. It's like, what are these little
Oh,
kids' shoes doing in this wall, this closet? Like,
Oh,
is
oh
this some
my.
protection spell or something? What is going on here? Is this good
Wow.
or bad? I don't know. It's kind of freaky. I was always told never to remove them though. So
oh
That's
yeah.
I've never heard of that. I'm gonna have to look. Is it an old
Hmm.
thing that
that
a
was outside
different
of
culture?
Gettysburg.
Okay.
Yep, that was old house I moved in
All
outside
right.
of Gettysburg.
Let's see. Now, you know they exist. Sasquatch, perhaps seed planets get frequent flyer benefits. They have to stay populated and immersed with biology. Humankind is an intermediate between greedy evil and transcended good. Aliens equal God. Yeah, who knows? Who knows
Right.
what it is and what they are, and could get frequent flyer benefits. I like that.
Well, the only thing I've
That's interesting.
experienced
That's
is
very interesting.
the only thing I've experienced basically is flesh and blood. I'm open to it,
Yeah,
but I can only say what I've experienced.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, everything else is possible. Yeah, we don't know.
Right. Still processing.
There's
It's going to take a while.
yeah.
Yeah. Ken says, when I was very young, at night when I was in bed, I always heard what sounded like soldiers marching and saw them in my mind.
Oh
Ooh,
wow. Oh
Ken,
wow.
did you live near an old fort or old battlefield or something? I know, especially like around Gettysburg, yeah, you're going to get all kinds of things like that.
There's so much more than just from the war there. I mean,
Yeah.
they massacred Indians to build that town. So
Oh, wow. Really? Oh,
there's a
my.
lot of crazy, some dark things there because
Yeah.
of it, you know.
Yeah.
But definitely the with the war, the Civil War battle that went on, it was the bloodiest battle of the Civil War, and there's a lot
Yeah.
of stuff.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, a lot of stuff, a lot of things that you can see or witness there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Now I live on the opposite end from you. I live in the South. I'm in north central Louisiana. And we live in the oldest city in the Louisiana Purchase. And
Oh,
I think we are 1817, I believe, here. And yesterday, when Joe and I were out of town, we drove back through, which is not far here, a few miles, but maybe 15 at the tops.
Mm-hmm.
But we have all the old plantations.
Yeah.
And we even have a fort in the middle of our little town here.
Oh,
And we were driving down through there with the old plantations and all the old homes and the pecan trees. And Joe and I were discussing, if the land could talk,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
it was very interesting. A lot of history here. And there's a lot of paranormal here as well.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah. That with, all the different, well, of course, the original natives and then the slaves that brought in Excuse me. Oh,
Yes, and Mary, and nobody discusses really about the red bones as
yeah,
well,
yeah.
which a part of which people didn't know that I have learned just not awfully long ago that it is a little place, I guess that it is just below us in Toledo Bend there, that it butts and it goes further south that but it butts on down up against Texas. And it was neither Texas or Louisiana. It was no man's land.
Yeah.
Okay.
They basically there was no laws. They weren't part of the United States or anything.
Isn't it shaped like a slice of pizza or something like that? Is that what am I
No,
thinking
not
of?
really. It's
I might be thinking of something else.
yeah, it's just on the western side there, and as all I know is and it runs on down into the south there, um, and um, and they call them red bones. That's where they went, and they weren't they weren't slaves. They were Creole, which is
Yeah,
a mix of different cultures actually
yeah.
is what they were. Even German
Mhm.
descent. And like I said, there was no laws. There was nothing there. And my understanding is still a little bit rough there after
Ooh,
all this time.
really? Wow.
hmm hmm It was a place that they could go. It was a lot of the, I guess your French Canadian had settled in there as well. But it was a place that the people didn't belong anywhere. They had nowhere to go. They didn't belong. They weren't black, they weren't white. I think there is a lot of red bones in a red bone is also Indian, indigenous. I think there's a lot in West Virginia, I believe,
Yeah.
as well.
Hmm. I know I've heard the term, but
Mhm.
it has to have been years since
Mhm.
I've really read about them or anything.
So a lot of history, like I said, a lot of paranormal,
Mhm.
especially around here.
Yeah.
They've I think there's been several television shows that's been here I think to our town in people's basements and things like that where they have seen the little slave girls. I think there was an actress that lived here for years,
Mhm.
from the 70s or 60s actress,
Mhm.
and she had paranormal activity, and that's just right in the middle of town here. A lot
Wow.
of old homes, lot of old homes. I think part of it was plantation. We were a fort actually here,
Mhm.
so a lot of things go on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. I'm gonna have to. Yeah,
hmm
Ken mentions some documentaries about red bones, so
hmm
I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to look that up
It's,
again
it's,
and
It's very
refresh
interesting.
me.
hmm
thank you for having me on. I actually have to hop off here. Like I
Oh,
said,
hey,
I'm at work, so my lunch
okay,
break's
Oh,
about up. I'm gonna have a little bit of time to myself to smoke a cigarette before I get back at it.
okay. Hey, Dusty,
nice to meet
thank
you.
you. Thank you
Nice
so
to
Nice
much.
to meet you.
We'll get you on again to tell more.
Yes, I'll have to definitely do that. Hopefully I can catch you at the camp, uh, up in
Yeah.
Allegheny. So,
Yes.
I'm trying to see as long as everything aligns.
Okay, good. Oh, hopefully, hopefully.
Alrighty.
All
Well,
right.
thank
Have a great
you.
day.
Bye bye.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Well, it's just me and you, Mary.
Yes, it is.
We talk enough. We talk enough. Just PMs back and forth.
Yes, we
Things.
do.
You've been
Um,
very supportive.
well, happy to, happy to that, what you guys filmed, videoed, just amazing, absolutely amazing.
It was
And
crazy.
yeah, I don't know if you wanted to talk about that.
Sure, sure. It's got to be talked about sooner or later.
Yeah.
I actually am doing podcast tonight, but it will be recorded
Okay.
and it won't be released for a little while. I haven't done anything really at this point. I'm just
Mhm.
trying to process, trying to figure things out,
Mm-hmm.
wanting to, we want to tell our story and get it out for the people that question things, that really question on
Yeah.
what's going on, and how they're real.
Apparently so.
And how we need to be aware of this.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, if some people don't know, there was a group of us that decided to take a trip to the land of the Land Lakes, for a Land Between the Lakes, for we were supposed to go for like a small meet and greet with a podcast that we go periodically with.
Mhm.
Well, due to the weather, severe weather that
Yeah.
was running across from west to east during that period, it was in the middle of March.
Yeah.
They canceled.
Oh,
Well, it was myself, and people know Joe, people know BF Bud, people know Jody, and several people know Stephen, especially in Alabama. They do,
okay.
because he goes to our campouts as well.
Mm-hmm.
And Angie as well, Bud's wife. So what we did is we went ahead and we all decided to meet
Oh,
anyway.
yeah.
We it was kind of a late cancellation to start with, and Joe and I had already got an early start. We were already in Memphis, and we had decided to spend the night. And it was going to be a little treacherous going back anyway. We're going to just drive right into it, where it was coming our way, and it was going to be there that day. So it was probably smarter for us just to go to LBL anyway.
Yeah.
So we had all met there. A few of us got there early, Jody and Joe and I think Stephen. And what we did is we drove around some. We went back to the old campground,
Mm-hmm.
walked along the beach there. It was down, looking for footprints and
Yeah.
different things. And, but the weather was so severe that Angie and Bud, I'll tell you if I could stress how severe it was, there was 100-mile-an-hour winds periodically.
Yeah.
And we had rented a place, a cabin.
Okay.
And so we were
Good.
all together. We were all together in the cabin. It was great. We had a ball.
Okay.
And we had to meet Bud and Angie down the road, and Joe and Stephen and them. Joe basically cut them out, cut them a place because a tree fell
Ooh.
and they couldn't get through. So they got Bud and them got out, and they had got a saw, and they had moved what they could, the debris,
Mm.
for them to be able to get into camp.
Wow.
And the trees were cracking all around us,
Yeah.
and everything. It was treacherous. So we headed on back, and we stayed in for a while. So, but we were only going to be there for Friday and Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and go back on Sunday. So it had rained, severe rains and things like that evening. We were able to get out and about periodically,
Mm-hmm.
but we had thermals. We all had thermals, and Joe had gave Jody our old thermal, and we had just purchased a new one. So we had been riding the roads, and we had been out quite a bit, several times a week,
Mm-hmm.
learning this thermal, because we dropped the ball a little bit on a catch at a location,
Oh,
because we learned you need to know your equipment.
yes. Yes.
That's what happened.
Yep.
So
Where are the buttons and what those buttons do? Oh, yes. Believe me,
it was
I know.
it was a very, very hard lesson.
Yeah.
Very, very hard.
It's
So
happened to me. I know.
so what we decided, and ours is Wi-Fi. You have that Wi-Fi capabilities,
Yeah.
which you can take, and which is really awesome now, is as I'm looking through the lens, there's a Wi-Fi capability that on your phone that you can see everything that I'm seeing through the lens, which is great.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so
That,
and
that
also
explains
audio.
things. Okay.
Right. So also as well as audio. So anything that I see, Bud and Joe see as well, or
Mm-hmm.
whoever else is in the vehicle. And Joe is able to control the recording, the
Mm-hmm.
focusing in and out, just all those different things, take snapshots, different things like that on the phone,
Wow.
where I don't have to fumble around
Yeah.
trying to figure out what it is. So, anyways, I skipped to that on Saturday night. It was our last night there, and Bud was really loving our camera because there was Stephen had also bought a new one. He bought the grade lower. He had turned Joe onto this type of camera, and he bought the step down. And Bud has a camera, but he's interested in purchasing another one, and he likes really that one. And he wanted to get out and see what that camera was all about.
Oh.
So we decided about it's about 9:45 or so that evening. It was, and the rain and weather have subsided. There was still more storms in the area, but we were in between. We did get hit with the storm a few hours later after we had got back home in the wee hours of the morning, a severe one. It was a lot of flash flooding there, different things like that. So we decided about 10 o'clock, we'd go ahead and we'd take a ride. Bud wanted to check the camera out. So Jody, Stephen, and his wife were in another vehicle in their truck. Joe, Bud, and myself were in the front truck. I was in the back seat behind Joe. And of course, I've been doing a lot of the filming. We had passed the camera back and forth, Bud and I had, trading off. And I happened to have the camera. And we rolled around a corner. We were on the back roads. Just, we saw a lot of wildlife because what they were doing is it was in between storms. So it had been a few days. So the animals were out feeding. We had seen several deer. I think we saw a couple of hogs. I'm not sure. We saw owls. And what was really awesome is we did see coyotes, and they were hunting. You could tell they were on a hunt together, and they were focused in on something, and we could see it. And at a distance, when we drove just down a little ways, we could see that there was a deer standing there. So obviously, that's what it was after.
Yeah.
So, Bud was getting a feel for the camera and was loving it and everything. Well, about a mile on down the road from the coyotes, we come around a bend, and there was a very, very tall, it seemed to be standing vertical, and it was white at that point, is what I'm seeing, sheer white, and it was very tall, and it was moving. It was massive, and it was moving.
Okay.
I'm not even sure if there wasn't two, but I know it was big. I zoned in on something.
Okay. Now,
And
your settings, were they set at white as hot?
yes, I had white hot settings, of course. And the thing is on this thermal there is so much humidity in the air due to all the weather and the moisture in the air. There was even a little bit of fog in some areas that Bud's camera wasn't working hardly at all. He couldn't get anything.
Oh.
Jody was having difficulties with our camera in the other vehicle, and Steven's camera that his wife was operating, him and Jody, that they were having trouble with theirs as well. It was kind of new. It was kind of new for them. They hadn't been working with their camera much. They were out playing with it.
Oh.
So there's two vehicles, but we're a distance apart.
Yeah.
They had honed in on some stuff and was looking at stuff as well as we were. but we were a little bit a few minutes ahead of them on the road. And so anyways, we zoned in on it. I said, hey, look, guys, I said, I got something here. It's big. And they see it as well. So we drive up on it, several feet, and Joe stops, never takes his foot off the brake. He never put it in park or anything like that, left the vehicle running.
Yeah.
Anyways, I locked in on it. So I'm leaving it to the guys to get there. So we pull up on it, and it appears to be standing sideways, and it's hiding behind a bush that there isn't much greenery out yet, because this is like
March.
not quite spring. It's March, and it's not quite spring yet. So I mean, there's a few leaves on some plants.
Right.
It just depends on the species. But it was hiding, and it did get a little bit of camouflage somehow, but I could see it. And I knew it was something, and I knew it was something big. And I was standing there looking at it. I'm sitting there in the truck. We're looking on it. I asked Joe to press record. We have learned since then that it's number 2 is normal for without focusing. The more you focus, when you get into 4 is okay, but when you get more into 8, the 8 where it goes up to the 8 and the digital, then it gets a little bit hard to see. It gets a little pixelated. But what happened was I see it moving, and I asked Joe to press record. And he did, and we're looking at it, and we're talking, and just a few minutes later, it steps out and turns around and squares up at us. And it's like, here I am. Here I am.
Wow.
So, and by the way, we did record over 16 minutes of thermal.
Oh, wow. I had no idea it was that long.
Yes. When people do look at the tape, they do have to remember this is thermal.
Yeah.
Their vehicle was running. Adrenaline's going.
Oh, yes.
You have all these factors. I mean, the truck isn't even in park.
Yeah.
The foot's on the brake.
Yep. Ready to book out of there.
Right. And plus,
in
we
case.
have people behind us that are coming,
Yeah.
that are on their way. And they eventually pulled up and they stopped. And because I wouldn't I even stated on there, I would not let Joe or Bud get off of that to be able to contact them in the vehicle behind us, like, hey, we got something.
Yeah.
We were, and there was very little internet or anything there due to all the storms.
Yeah.
But this thing squared up at us and stood there and said, like, here I am.
Wow.
I don't know what it was. I describe on the video what has been posted on North American Dogman Project is clips. It's been analyzed, it's been tore apart, it's been destroyed, it's been every which way.
Yeah.
I'm here to tell my story. Basically, they have their conclusions on what they believe what it is by a group and an artist. They tried their very best. They were very gracious, very sweet, everything. And they have been very supportive in all of this.
Okay, good.
Yes, that's what's mainly very, very important. And but this thing just squared up at us and looked at us the entire time, and it kept changing positions.
Okay.
It kept changing positions on us. It even went so far as to put its hand up over its face.
Okay.
Like a side view, like just trying to hide its face.
Bigfoot will do that also.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I told them I had heard of that before, and Joe and Bud go, "Oh, I've never heard that." And I go, "Yes, I've heard that several times."
Yeah.
We did this. We,
Yep.
that's what we were doing periodically. And it was doing the slow shift. It wasn't doing like this. It was just a gradual, where you could just barely see it. When you go frame by frame, you're able to see the movement.
Okay, so it was still standing in the same spot, but just
You can,
slowly.
yeah, you can see even on the film there, if you look, you'll
Uh-huh.
see where it views from the right, from its right, and then you can see where it will slowly go to the left. It's
Okay.
very slowly. You have to really, really look at the film. Like I said, these are clips, and it doesn't do it justice on our experience.
Yeah.
Is how it is, but
Yeah.
it's clips. You can't play the whole thing. That's a
Yeah.
lot. That's a lot. And we're all over the place. We tried our very best to try and lose this thing as it was. Bud decided, I'm going to get out.
Oh,
I'm
God
going.
bless him. Oh, my.
Yes, I'm getting out. We're going to find out what it is. And he steps out of the truck. I even give a description on what I'm looking at, and so does Bud. And of what I saw. It's in the video. It might not be to the public, but I gave a big description, so did Bud. And so did Joe on what we were seeing. We're just trying to process on what we're seeing.
Oh, heck
Because
yeah.
I've got 2 hunters, very, very experienced hunters sitting in the front seat. They know what they're looking at. And they know it wasn't we know it isn't an animal, and like Joe said, unless you can prove it's wearing tennis shoes, that's his take on it. It's some kind of cryptid,
Yeah.
is all I know.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind. It had ears. It looked like it had breasts. It had something going on in the middle section.
Yeah.
And it took me a couple months looking at it. I didn't know what it was. I've even consulted with you. I've consulted with a few others. We had a hard time getting help. We had asked some other folks for some help with stability and everything. When you get something and you try and get the help, you just can't get it.
Yeah.
They're people aren't as supportive as they say they are
Yeah. Well,
in this community, and it's a shame.
I think, and I've also found that people tend to overstate their capabilities.
Yes, agreed. Very much. You hit that one. That's perfect. That's the best way I can describe it. But besides that, we did the best we could. We even did our best to try and lose it. But Bud steps out of the truck. He comes over. He takes the camera from me. It's a thermal scope, actually. He takes it from me. At that point, we have the other vehicle behind us, and Steven steps out. He has a thermal. He can't see it, not with his. Due to the humidity, it's standing across a creek. So you have that.
Yeah.
You have that as well. I even said at one point, light it up. We had been there so long. I even said that, light. Okay, we've been here long enough. Light it up.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got here. We couldn't see it. The humidity.
Probably fog and misty and everything.
Yeah. It was flooding. You had flash flooding. So Bud decides he's going to step off of the roadway, and he's going to go across. There's a little patch of field right there. It's actually cornfield or whatever. And then there's wooded, where it's wooded right there because the creek runs along there. On the other side of the creek, there's other fields and whatever, but there's a wooded area there, and there's a drain there, and it's big, and it's a 6-foot drop probably, where you can go down about 6 foot on that.
Yeah.
And it was standing across on the other side of the creek. It had an exit. I don't know why it didn't take it. I'm still baffled.
it probably didn't realize that it had been seen.
Well,
And so,
that's what we thought.
okay,
That's what we thought at first, that this thing, it was testing to see if we could see it.
right.
Because I think what it was doing, it took off somewhere. It took off right there to that area and was hiding for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was realized, and I think testing that if we could see it or not.
Yeah.
And that's when it stepped out. Then it realized we could see it.
Yeah.
It
That's
knew
why,
we saw it.
yeah, it was hiding its face.
Mhm.
Yeah.
At a certain point, it knew that we saw it because when Bud stepped out of the truck, it hit again,
Okay.
but it turned sideways. And I do have a really good thermal clip of that where you can see the eye sockets on
Mm-hmm.
it, and you can see where it's standing sideways is what it's doing. And it eventually turned its back, is
Okay.
what it
Interesting.
was.
Okay.
And that is up on the website.
Mm-hmm.
But but Bud, when he stepped over there to go towards it, the mud went above his ankles.
Ooh.
So
Oh.
that's how much. So there was no going anywhere, which
Yeah.
it's a good thing. Like we said, thank
Yes.
goodness.
Yeah.
And when he retreated, he come back to the truck. Stephen went back to his truck, and it turned back around,
Facing you again.
facing us.
Okay.
And it just stood there doing the shifting back and forth some. It was
Mm-hmm.
just like shifting. I don't know why. I don't know if it was looking for an exit. It had plenty of exit. I don't know why it didn't take it. We don't know why.
Who knows? Maybe it was, I don't know, checking you guys out as much as you were checking it.
I hollered at it. I said, "Hey, you
Did
know."
it respond or?
It seemed like I got a small reaction.
Okay.
I was looking for it to jump or do something. I was trying
Yeah.
to catch a reaction out of it.
Yeah.
I fumbled. Some of the tape I can't put on because when I get a little shook, and some people do, I kind of have a potty mouth. I have a potty mouth, so that's all I can say. And it's kind of ugly, and some of it's on the beginning of the tape, but it's clipped,
Mm-hmm.
so you do not see that part, but it kind of jumbles up the clip a little bit. They probably shouldn't have used that. And I know that we did things that we don't even know why we did. Joe shut off the recording
Yeah.
10 minutes into it. And I go, "Why did you shut it off? Why did you shut the recording off?" And he goes, "I don't know." I said, "Turn it back on." So he hit it back on. That's when Bud was out of the truck.
Okay.
And
Well,
so we stammered. I couldn't even talk straight
well,
on some of it.
yeah,
I didn't feel
the
sick.
adrenaline's going, for
Yeah,
one thing there.
right. The
And
things that you
Joe,
go through.
yeah, Joe shutting it off, that kind of goes towards
Joe
the
wanted to leave.
and okay, all right, I'm more inclined towards, I don't know if you can say infrasound for that, which would be possible to, because it'll induce those feelings of, fear, intense fear, and so on, that, for him
Right.
to want to leave. And it could have spurred him to shut off the recording just out of fear.
Oh, well, exactly. That's what Jody Cook was stating to us. It's kind of like almost like a soldier in combat is
Mm-hmm.
what you're experiencing as
Okay.
well. But on the fear thing, like I said, Joe kept saying, something about want to go or something. And I go, "No." He was going to take off right then. And I go, "No, stay here."
Yeah.
You know,
It
I'm having
wasn't
to.
doing anything. It wasn't moving towards you. So,
Well, no. The thing is he doesn't even know why I even said that. It was a flight mechanism or
yeah.
something. I don't know
Yeah.
what it was, but
Yeah. Fight or flight.
we right. We were just trying to process what we were seeing. Our brain was trying to make sense of it.
Yeah.
Now,
Well,
fear-wise, I had bouts of I reached over with my elbow and locked the door, or I
mm-hmm.
could put the window up real quick,
Right.
just different things like that. Joe never pulled a weapon out. His take on that, it wouldn't do me any good anyway. I'm not going to make it in time. Things like that. Um, and me, I had bouts of, oh my goodness, but I had my stress was, okay, I have the responsibility of our safety
Yeah.
because I'm the only one that has a lens on this thing.
Right.
And I'm the only one that can see it coming towards us.
Yeah.
And that was a heck of a responsibility.
Yeah, that would be, yeah, because if you hesitate in responding, if it starts rushing towards
Hmm.
you, and they can move awful fast, uh,
Well, right.
then everyone's life is in danger at that point in time if you hesitate, just out of shock.
Hmm.
So yeah, no, it's a responsibility. It's a huge responsibility.
Right. And like I said, I'm trying to scan to see if we see anywhere else or anything like that. We do not know why it stayed there.
Mm.
We do not know what was going on with it, what it was even thinking. It did have that's the boss in me.
Yeah.
You damn straight,
Yeah.
Patrick.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's very telling of your personality right there, that
Right.
you're a steady personality and you're not gonna break under pressure, and God bless you. You're
Right.
and
It's hmm
yeah, I've been at LBL with Pat and Joe, and
sure.
yeah, very few people that I actually want to go out with, and Pat and Joe, they're two of the best. So
Well, you the same as well. It's like, hey, I've always wanted to know. I've always had that curiosity. Ever since my husband passed, I said, you know what? And I'm retired. I'm getting ready to retire. This is
yeah,
what I went through. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do.
yeah.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go seek these answers of
Mm-hmm.
all these questions and all these people that I come in from work at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. I was a production supervisor, and I couldn't wait to see my heroes on YouTube on what they discovered that day or whatever.
Yep.
And but yeah, what we went through. I felt it after. I have felt it since I got home.
Yeah.
Not so much at the time because I
Yeah.
knew I had to keep it together.
Absolutely. It doesn't hit you until later. But at that
Yes.
point in time, you have to maintain control. Yeah,
Yes.
I know.
Yes. And of course we got to maintain somebody's got to maintain control of those boys I was in the truck with. Those men. I can still
Especially
call them
Joe.
boys. Yes, exactly. Bud isn't far behind him either. you know, Angie was ill and she was back at the cabin. So
Oh,
otherwise she would have been in the truck with us.
yeah.
And
Oh,
poor Jody, she just wants to know, Jody, she just wants to
yes.
know what's going on.
Yes.
That's Jody.
Yes.
But she said, I'd been screaming, let's go, let's go,
Mm.
but it was but as we finally said, for some reason, we went ahead and we let Joe go. It wasn't doing anything. It was just going to stand there and look at us.
Yeah.
And after we had been there 20 minutes.
Um,
Total, pretty much 20 minutes.
mm.
And we decided that, it's time to go. and we pretty much wore our welcome out.
Yeah.
We're thinking. So we went ahead and as we were pulling off, we do have a tape. It's still right at the very end because Joe, he is busy wanting to, hit that recording button and turn everything off. But we do catch more than just two sets of legs moving off as we are moving off. And we believe there was more than one, of course. Now everybody is worried about the baby. I'm going to bring that to light here.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You're going to get
Okay,
into
because
that?
I'm going to go ahead and address it because I got my girl Mary here.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to state 100% that it's a baby.
Yeah.
It is something.
Yes.
They found something. They said is all I said. It was holding something. I
Mhm.
left it up to them. I said, it appears like it is carrying something.
Right.
I don't know what it is. And they said, well, we'll look into all of this when we look at this, when we go through this footage. We will break it all down and put it under filters and everything, Pat. And I go, okay. So we got some stills back and everything.
Yeah.
There's something there. I'm not going to say it is a baby. I don't know if it's a baby.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a kill. It's carrying something, is all I'm going to say, because I kept saying it has breasts.
Yes.
It has breasts. And I don't know what it is. I'm not going to, I have put the recording out. I know it's there. My thing is on any kind of interviews or telling my story is I have presented this to the people to learn, the community,
Yes.
my friends, the people that I know. Some people they can't get out. I want to show them that there's something there. There really is something. The people that question things, people
Right.
that can't, like I said, that can't get out, they can't go
Yeah.
out and experience all this. That why can't we do it for them too and point things out to them? That
Yes.
we caught something very valuable, and we
Oh,
could learn from this.
absolutely. Yeah. The things that video, just the photos, the screenshots from that
Yes.
video, to me were absolutely eye-opening. And
Yes.
so many different things, even better than the Beast of Seven Shoots
Mm-hmm.
photo, that goes around, which is pretty compelling on its
Mm-hmm.
own. But
Right.
yours, it's you see so much more detail, because that photo from Beast of
Right.
Seven Shoots, it's fuzzy. You can't really make out too many details, whereas yours, the sharpness of your of your camera it's got to be an amazing camera. You're
Well,
gonna have to
yeah,
send me a link to it.
they say it's very quality for the in between, for the middle of the road
Yeah,
person to use. That
right.
it's great that this is the quality. This is the camera you want to use, they say.
Yes.
And we were very happy with it. But the
Yes.
thing is people need to understand this is a thermal.
Yes.
It was a thermal, people. It was not anything else. It was not a regular camera.
No.
Camera is a scope, but it is a thermal.
Yeah.
And there's a difference.
Yes.
Thermals don't lie.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I'm not here to defend.
Hey, Wendell.
I'm not here to defend or, hey, Wendell, I'm not here to defend or try and convince anyone. That I'm here to, I allowed these individuals, great individuals, to post what they did and their findings and everything else to get this out to the world, to tell our story. That is up to the and here's what we found. Here's what we filmed. Now it's up to you to decide however you want to decide.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm not going to be, like I said, upset or defensive or anything. That's your opinion, and that's okay. And that's okay to question everything, because I sure do. I'm the
Absolutely.
world's worst.
You have to.
But that's all I can really say about that. Things are coming together and things like that. We will, when we do see people in person, we are going to a camp out here next week. And anybody that would like to see it, we will show the whole thing to you. But we will not post the whole thing online at this point.
Right.
We've been advised not to. It is copyrighted anyway, but we have been advised not to put the whole thing up because and it's raw. We are not gonna go. A couple people tried to stabilize it. It can't be stabilized. You take too much away from it. So we want to leave it raw, how it is for people to see, and anybody that is experienced in all of the with media or the cameras or anything like that, they're welcome to analyze it. We're trying to be very transparent about it.
Yeah. As for the figure or whatever it is that it's carrying, whenever I saw it, I thought, well, it's possibly a baby, possibly a dog, that it caught another animal and it's bringing home food. My impression, though, was there was a little bit more care, nurturing, and protectiveness in the way that it was holding it. But that was an impression, going by body language. But
I agree.
Completely wrong.
Right. That's me, but that's your opinion and my opinion.
And that's it. Opinion only.
Okay. Not that like men don't understand, but an individual, a woman that has had children might relate a little bit more to this.
Yes.
It was not I feel, this was me personally, I was more impressed over the arms of the large individual.
Yeah.
And the hair on the arms and the hands and things like that. That kind of just, I have the one photo that it absolutely haunts me. I go, what is this? I can almost see your eyes, but I can't. That's where it's kind of covered there a little bit.
Yeah.
And it supports. It's supporting what it is carrying.
Yeah.
It is not it's not carrying the thing like it is a kill.
Right.
To me personally,
different.
My opinion only.
Yeah.
It's handling it. It's putting its hand up over. I've carried my children many a times that way. So have you, Mary.
Yes.
A lot of mothers have. It is putting the one hand up over the chest, supporting that child, and another hand underneath by where the rump or the feet are at the bottom. And it's supporting.
Yeah.
So and also on how it acted. It had the opportunity to leave. Why didn't it? Why didn't it leave?
Right.
That is just it took off instead of taking off from us as we were approaching.
Yeah.
It chose to stay where it hid right there.
Yeah.
Now there's something going on there. I don't know. I didn't get out and ask it, but but something went on. and I'll never find the answer. I'll never know.
Yeah. We
I'm
can
not going
only
to try and assume. I'm not going to speculate,
Yeah.
but it had an opportunity to leave. It had an out, and
Yeah.
it didn't take it.
Now, in a way, it reminded me of a video on another video on my channel where a truck driver, with his dash cam, he filmed a Bigfoot on the side of the road. Now, this Bigfoot knew the truck was coming. He could hear it. You know, it was a gas well water truck rumbling on down this dirt road, gravel road. And it stood there, you know, and whenever, and they'll do that. You know, they'll
Right.
see someone coming or vehicle, they will stand completely still and imitate a tree or a stump, you know, stump squatch. You know, they're just,
Right.
and I've even found as a person, hey, you stand perfectly still, people will pass right by you and not even
Yes, they
see.
will. Yes. Yes. Especially in the dark and the weather
Yes.
conditions.
Yes,
But
and just turn your head so your
right.
facial features, because that's an immediate thing
Sure.
that people will see. You know, that's how they see the face of Jesus in a piece of toast or up
Right.
in the clouds or something, is
Exactly.
facial features, the eyes, nose, and mouth.
Right. 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 So, like I said, if this can help, I have received a few emails and messages from individuals. Some I know, some I do not.
Mhm.
Stating that they thanked me for validating what they saw.
Wow.
Um, and that, if I could help just that one person,
Yeah.
that it's worth it all to me.
Yes.
Because that was the purpose of this video,
Mhm.
is to support, to help, to educate, for people to see, for knowledge of what happened, what I, and like I said, two others experienced. Their
Mhm.
views on what it's carrying, they do not know. My other two men, they do not know. They're not going to express it.
Mhm.
I just, I kind of get it, Pat, but I kind of don't. And they're not going to say anything,
Right.
but we're not going to say anything that we don't feel. Not that there is I'm right and they're wrong, or
Mhm.
vice versa.
Yeah.
That's my opinion, this is their opinion, yours, whoever
Exactly.
is listening at this time, or
Yeah.
whoever sees this. And but if I can help that one person, because I've been told I hoaxed, I didn't see it, but you saw exactly
Really?
what I saw. Yes. Yes. And they said, Pat, you saw exactly what I saw.
Well, come to think of it, because I posted the video, from the YouTube channel, on my group, and we
Okay.
did get one person who says, he doesn't see anything, and
That's okay.
yeah, and I said that's fine,
Sure.
no one is here, at least, me personally, I'm not out to prove anything. Uh,
No.
and I'm not here to convince anyone, because I
Yeah.
know I'm not going to. Ain't
Well,
gonna happen.
that's my take on it here. I'm not going to defend it, and I'm not going to
No,
try and
right,
convince.
right.
This is my experience, and I'm sharing that.
Yeah,
That's all I'm doing.
yeah,
Take it or leave it, however
mm,
you want to take it. I don't care. If
yeah,
you want to ask questions, that's fine, but I will not allow you to badger and ridicule me,
absolutely.
because this is my experience.
I'll rip their
And
face off if they if
exactly.
they try.
Exactly. Question me all you want, but do it with respect.
Yep,
That's all I ask.
yep.
I treat you with the same respect as you treat me.
Mhm.
But I heard you calling me, and I heard you calling me out. Joe ran the other way. But I heard you calling me out, and I said, "Okay, Miss Mary, Mary has been very supportive through all of this. I've had Victoria being very supportive,
Yeah.
Lavani,
Yeah.
Pat Rance has been very supportive.
Yes. He's a good guy.
You know, I've had several of that going on,
Mhm.
and that's all we want to do is we want to share what we have and tell our story.
That's right. Yeah, you're
You
right,
know,
Ken. I'll Hulk smash somebody. They
exactly.
ridicule. Nope, ain't gonna
Okay.
happen.
Exactly. Exactly. And so, Mary, you caught me. And I went ahead. I said, this, Joe said, Pat, it's as good a time as any.
I'm glad. Thank you. Thank you so much for, I didn't want to name names, but yeah, I left it up to you,
I
if
know
you
you did.
wanted to
Thank you.
jump on and share it. But I am so very grateful that you did. And yeah,
Well, if I can help one person,
yeah, and
that's the main
that's all
thing.
it is. That's
Mhm.
all it is. Just help one person, in their search, to get some answers. And you have, and that's wonderful.
Just lucky. I just the right place, the right
Yeah,
time, and
yeah,
this thing. If we could just bring this community together, it's not a
mm,
case. I know somebody, or I got one better. That's got a better shot than that. Oh, come on,
yeah,
please. I don't really care.
yeah,
I'm just, this is what I got. That's all.
right.
And this is what we experienced, we as a group. And the
Hmm.
thing is there was more, only 3 saw it because the others were instructed to stay in their vehicle. Uh, 3 of us had eyes on it.
Yeah,
3 others did not, but there was 6 of us together.
yeah. That's just amazing. Yeah, you're gonna have to let us know what the name of that camera was, that the thermal that you had. And
I
I,
sure will. I
I
sure will.
I know it will be out of my price range, but I will just be in. Said,
I
ooh,
think Joe got it for like $1,700. We had been saving for that. Like I said, we had been riding the roads for months. I've
yeah,
even missed your shows and things because we're only like 20 minutes from the National Forest here.
that's
Either way we go,
yeah.
we're surrounded here in Louisiana.
I
And the
know.
thing is, we go, hey, we're gonna take our thermal out and go for a ride,
You can, yeah, you
and
know they
so
can do
I
that.
operate the camera most of the time, and
Mm,
we're looking for that big shot with our man down south in Miami, in Alabama down there.
that's
And we
right.
missed our opportunity last time. We didn't
Oh,
get a shot like we should have got
yeah.
because we didn't know our equipment.
Oh,
And that's what all our group says. We should have known our equipment. So
good.
that's what we've been working on, is
Yeah,
what that
lessons learned.
is.
I think we all have to go through that. And hey, I've done it myself.
Hmm.
I had something right there, on my camera, and didn't know which button did what exactly, and just lost it. And hey, it happens.
Exactly. Exactly. That's just like audio. Have that audio running before you
Yeah.
step out of the vehicle. I've
Hmm.
learned the
Yes.
hard way. I've missed so many things happening.
Yep.
Just stuff like that. But like I said, okay, Mary, I did it for you. You talked me into it, and
Oh,
it was good for my soul.
good. Thank you. You have no idea how much I appreciate you doing this
Yeah.
and sharing. Um, I don't know if anyone else had any questions. I know I have one question.
Yes.
I wasn't able to make out any details, and I don't know if you could in the rest of the video. But were you able to make out details on its legs, whether it had legs like Bigfoot or
No, I have tried really hard. I couldn't tell you how many how, how I've got I've got this kind of stuff everywhere, all through the house. I have a big one. Joe bought me one off the internet, a big one, the page one. so I could look. I'm looking down into it. I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
No, I know it was hairy. The
Yeah.
arms are just even tells it all to me.
Yeah.
The arms are. It's not. I've seen a Sasquatch. They weren't
Mhm.
Sasquatch arms.
Yeah.
The hands were not. It kind of, the hands reminded me of, what is that, Dr. Seuss? Um, you know,
Oh, the green, the Grinch.
is it the Grinch? Yes, how they're like, the
Yeah.
hair is like pointed,
Yeah. Yeah.
pointed like that, and the hair on the arms and the hands reminded me of the Grinch
Oh. Oh.
with it's pointed with the hair.
Yes. Oh, those are damn creepy hands.
Yes, that's what those hands remind me of.
Wow.
And those are the things that, but that hair and all that,
Yeah.
it's haunting because I'm wanting to see your face.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that. But
Yeah.
no, I was not able to see the legs. I just know that they were hairy. I did
Yeah.
see that,
Yeah.
but I could not see anymore.
Yeah.
So, but I do know there was something, it was carrying something.
Yes.
For a fact,
Yes.
for the people, it was definitely carrying something.
Yes, I agree. It was carrying something,
Mm-hmm.
and it's up to everyone's interpretation as to what
Sure.
that is.
Sure. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. I'm good with when I knew that there would be the possibility. I was told, Pat, when you decide to do this, we had thought about not doing anything with it. And I told Joe, no, why? You are doing such a disservice to folks.
Yeah.
And it was me. Joe didn't want to post it. Bud, he was game for anything. He didn't really care.
Mm-hmm.
He's real easygoing like that. But the thing is no, I'm the one that wanted to, because what are you going to hide it for?
Right.
For what? People say, oh, I got one, but I'm not going to show it. Who are you saving it for?
I know, really, that's selfish, and
Mm-hmm.
no, you're helping so many people by putting it out there. And
Right.
guys, go to the Lord. I have it up. Lord Star Fox YouTube channel.
Yes. I am going to,
LORDE.
yes, I am also going to be doing, I promised him, he is part of the North American Big Dog Man Project. And I'm used to saying Bigfoot, but Dog Man Project. And he's been a lot of support, and I promised that I would do an interview. I will be doing one this evening, but it will be a taped interview, and I do not know when it will be posted or come available
Okay.
at this point, because
Yeah.
it is tonight and it's taped. So
Yeah.
other than
And he'll
that,
be-
I've been asked, and I wanted to kind of just sit back and kind of take things in a little bit. But
Right.
like I said, I got tough skin. I've already been warned about that. And you know what? It's okay. Because you know something, other than me texting negative stuff, I don't see that. You know what? But it comes out of my mouth. Joe hears it all. I go, well, I don't see it. How many conversations have you had like that?
Yes.
But out of respect for the individual, they are right to their own opinion and
Right.
what they see and what they post. And
Yeah.
who am I to discredit them?
Exactly.
But I'm a very big one that I'm very skeptical, and
Mhm.
no, you need to show me,
Mhm.
is how I've always been. I'm
Yeah.
a strong woman, and I demand to see,
Yeah.
I demand to see it. And that's really kind of all. But Mary, you've been very supportive and very helpful,
Aw.
helping me get through this. It is traumatic
It
to a
is.
certain degree. To a certain
Yeah.
degree, it has been for me.
Yeah. No, I can see why. Yes, absolutely.
Mhm.
It would be.
It
And
rattles your cage a little bit. It makes you question. I never believed in Dog Man or anything like that, and but there is. I believed in Bigfoot because I saw a Bigfoot. Now this thing has ears and had everything else and a
yeah,
snout, and I guess that's what it was. So if you believe in one cryptid, you have to believe in the rest.
absolutely, you do.
And it
It's,
wasn't a negative experience. I wanted to state that,
yeah,
but that doesn't mean anything.
yeah. About how far away was it?
We did go back and do the recon on it. We don't have exactly, we're thinking now that we don't have the exact location pinpoint. We're not, it's a matter of like feet or a couple yards away. That's all. Of not the distance so much. We're thinking maybe 70 yards.
Okay,
We measured it. We measured it with the finder, and also,
okay,
I mean, Bud had his little thing, and Joe has some kind of app on his phone, and he got the same amount too. We do have a recon thermal that we took during the day and at night.
mm-hmm.
And we did go out and we did some recon on it. We made a special trip. This experience happened to us in March. We were not able to get back up until April 17th, I believe. We were in the field experiencing doing all this, and this happened March 15th. So there was a lot of leaf that growth to the trees at this point,
Yeah,
due to all the rain, but we were not able to get up there because there has been mass flooding from here to Louisiana
yeah.
and to Ohio.
Well,
And he is in Ohio. Bud is in Ohio, and Joe and I are in Louisiana. We're a 10-hour trip. Bud
yeah.
is 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So we took this time, spur of the moment, go, hey, we got a break in the weather. Let's go now. So we did go there, and we think it's 70 yards. We do believe that it is between 6 and 8. We're leaning more towards 7 and 8 because Joe and Bud are both 6'2" or 3,
Okay.
both of the same height. Like I said, there will be a thermal coming out, showing all that at a later date on the website. And that's all we can do.
No, it's good that you did the follow-up, that you
Mhm.
did the measurements and everything. God bless you.
Yeah, we did it. We did it. There is
Important.
what you see is the daylight pictures on the
Mhm.
website are part of the recon.
Okay.
The thermals of the day and night shots and things like that are just not up there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think they were trying to analyze all that and go through all that to try and do some comparisons before they posted it, because they've been very thorough
Mm-hmm.
in investigating this thermal
Mm-hmm.
and our story. It's not a story. It is
Your
an
experience.
our experience and our interaction and things like that. So they have been very thorough before they posted anything. I do want to say one thing though, is I had talked to one of them and they said, did it make any noise or anything? The answer is no. Did we see any eye shine? The answer is no. Now I have several recordings, and one recording has really bugged me that David Ellis has gone through, and he has analyzed and everything else. He doesn't know what it is either. It's very suspicious.
Okay.
Now, they told me, hearing it, because it does have that canine to it, that they said, because I said, I don't even know what a dog man or would anything sound like that. I do have a canine audio. If you could tell me, maybe that's what I have. They said, well, send it to me. Let me see. Let me hear it.
Yeah.
It sent it right back and it said, hey, It's canine. It is definitely. It's not that. It is. It is a dog man.
Oh, okay.
They said, look, I've heard so many of them. It definitely is. But they posted that, and it leads you to believe that it is from that experience. It is not.
I
It
see.
is. It is from the Hollands. I
Okay.
got that. I was with Wendell was there with me that night as
Mhm.
well. He knows,
Yeah.
but that is experience comes from there in Alabama. It is not whatsoever connected with our experience from Land O'Lakes.
Yeah, they should have put that on a separate, totally separate video.
Yes.
That's a little deceptive.
Yeah, it's a little misleading.
Yeah.
But I do want to make that clear. It is my audio, and
Yes.
it is and everything else, but it is not from that location.
Right.
I will
Someone else
state
put it together on one.
someone else put that together, and I didn't know until they posted it. I
Mhm.
didn't know what was up until you all saw it at the same time I did.
Yeah.
So, it is a little bit misleading, but I do want to make that clear. So,
No, I know that Kumbo has a dog man recording also, audio.
okay.
I know he had played it on one of the Beast episodes whenever he
Okay.
was on one
You
of
didn't tell me
theirs.
that. Okay. I
Um,
wish I had known that.
you,
You know,
you
I
should have
think
asked me.
anyways, I talk to Troy Allen and everything a lot.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
he's a good friend, and
Yeah.
also talk to Pat Rance and all of them. They are, right on the money with
He
that.
does.
They all
Yeah.
run in the same circle. So,
Yes. Yeah.
and have been doing this for years. So
Yes.
I do go to them on things as well.
Mhm. Good. Yep.
But
Pat, yeah, both of them, Troy, they know their stuff.
sure,
Yeah.
exactly. They're good friends of ours.
Yep.
But other than that, Miss Mary, so you conned me into coming on. You called me out.
Without naming names.
Right, I know. And I go, okay. Joe said it might be good for you, Pat.
Aw. Thank you, Joe, for talking her into it.
He's fishing. He's down on the water fishing. I'm trying to run the turtles out of the yard. They're wanting to lay eggs all over the yard, and I posted yesterday, I'm not your babysitter.
Okay, so that's what that meant. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm not your babysitter. You're laying eggs all over the yard and up by the house.
Aw.
I'm putting buckets over them to try and keep the coons and everything out of them.
Yeah, now you turned into the babysitter.
Right, exactly. I got one out of here. I felt sorry, and I go, okay, Joe, I did it. I don't want snakes up against the house.
Yeah, and that's what it'll draw.
Yeah, it draws everything out of here.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm right on the river, right here at the bottom of my hill here.
Oh boy.
So,
yeah.
I got gators and everything else, but
You got it all.
they won't come up the hill. But other than that, Miss Mary, that's it, really.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. I don't see any questions in here.
Okay.
Ken says he posted the link. Unfortunately, it's not coming up. It won't come up for whatever reason.
Oh, Ken can't post it. Only a mod can post it.
Okay, I thought so.
Is what it is. Only a mod can post that.
Yeah. So Jeff, if you can go over there and to that YouTube channel and grab that link.
There's that one, and I really like the North American dogmanproject.com is what I really like. I like the setup of that. I really like that part.
Yeah.
I think it's not all over the place. It's kind of
Right.
constructed right there. I don't think it does things as justice as well on the. I think it was kind of we didn't think it was going to go up on the YouTube, so I think it got a little rushed. That's all.
Okay.
That's all.
Now, Jody Cook, is he the one that runs the page?
He runs the North American
website?
Dog. He runs it all.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, he's
Yeah, I knew.
he is head of the project.
Yeah. Yeah. I knew that. I
Yeah.
just wasn't sure if he was in charge of the page or the website. That is. Yeah.
Yes. I think Kenny is. But they work together.
Okay.
But like I said, he takes care of all that. He's out of Cincinnati.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kenny's messaging me now tonight. And by the way, sending me a link for tonight. That's all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've yet to meet him. I've been on the Facebook group for I don't know how many years. A good friend of mine from Australia used to be a moderator on the
Okay.
group. Tony, not Tony, Simon Young.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if he's still on there or not.
Yeah, they're really a great group. Al Santariga is
Yeah.
part of it as well.
Okay.
He is a part. He is some of them. That's part of it. He put me through some grilling questions. Bam, 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 bam. He knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah.
And I, but they have scientists. They have different ones that have looked over this.
Good.
People that have more knowledge than we do.
Interesting.
So it was that I welcomed that. We welcome that. We have nothing to hide, so we welcome that.
Mm-hmm. No, that's good. I'm going to have to share that with another friend of mine, well, I've got a couple friends who are primatologists, so yeah, I'll have to get it over to them, see what they say.
Exactly. Okay. Well, all righty, Mary.
I'll let you go so you can babysit either Joe or the turtle eggs. Yeah.
Yeah. The red-eared slider is what they are. They're like those little bitty turtles you buy in the stores.
Okay.
But they're big.
Yeah. Wow.
They're big.
Huh.
And all that. No, I got housework to do today. I got to get ready to go camp, and I got to get my camper ready.
I am so jealous. I truly
I know. I wish you could come.
Yes.
I know.
Okay,
and I'll get up there. I'll be getting up there soon too, because I need to make a run to Ohio.
Okay, good. We're gonna have to meet up out there.
Okay. Good night or good day, everybody.
Yes. All right.
Okay, thank you, Mary.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, guys. Fantastic. This episode was just an absolute surprise to me. I was originally, like I said at the beginning of this, I only came on to because I needed to record me talking about an incident that happened because Dixie Cryptid is doing, I guess, a project where he was asking for stories. And so I sent him, so I videoed myself doing the story, and apparently it was live. I had hit the record rather than live, but apparently it was live. And so as soon as I finished with that, I said, okay, guys, hold on. I'm going to come over and do a new one. I'll end this one, but I'm going to start a new one. So that's what I did. So roundabout explanation as to this surprise episode. Let me back it up here now. If you go onto that Lord Star Fox YouTube channel, you look for this episode 2025 JPBA Land Between the Lakes Dog Woman episode. And that's on the Lord LORDE Star Fox, all one word, YouTube channel. And and that's where the videos are. that Pat was talking about. Let me see if I can. Yeah, Lord Star Fox YouTube channel. And you look for this episode. All right. Or else you just go to the North American Dogman website. And it's on there also. Because I think originally that's where I found it. And then went over to this Lord Star Fox. Because this Lord Star Fox, he's got multiple videos on it. Just short couple minutes clips. From the main video, but it's very compelling, very, very compelling. Oh, thank you, Pat. Thanks. Oh, Gary posted the link. Okay. Okay, thank you, Gary. Let me get up here. Yes, there it is. There's the link. Just scroll up. Gary posted it, so you can just click on that and go directly over to it. I advise that you watch. Like I said, there's multiple videos on here, and they're all named the same, but different views. But I wanted to thank Pat for coming on and going over this, because I knew that they were releasing this slowly and very carefully, and so I wanted to respect the stages that they were bringing this out into the public, and I do appreciate so much you coming on and going over it. I didn't show any of the photos on here, and I know some of you may not understand, but that's why. It's out of respect. Plus, I don't have the technology to be able to do that, for one thing. And also, Tara, thank you so much. My very first member. I don't know if you look down, you may see a button that says join, and that helps me. It helps the channel. It helps continue the channel, and it helps continue my research. You heard Pat saying just how much that thermal was, $1,700 for this thermal. I've got a thermal that I had picked up, I don't know, about 10 years ago, maybe not quite, 7 years ago. I picked it up used for about $240. I also have one of the FLIRs that you clip onto your iPhone, and that's about 10 years old. So I'm certain, that with my iPhone 15, it definitely will not work, because the cable, the pointy thing that goes into your phone, it won't fit, because they've changed that. And most likely technology won't match up because it's so old. And we have, I've got the bionic ears and the what else? I've got recorders, audio recorders, and I have expensive headphones that all of this that I bought or my husband bought for me. They're so old. The one pair of headphones are about Yeah, they're a little over, yeah, they're 11 years old and they've long since died, no longer usable. My good, expensive audio recorder is no longer usable. It died. So now I picked up a $20 audio recorder because I am on retirement Social Security, and that's all I can afford. And there's, we depend on donations, guys. Unfortunately, that's the way it goes. I can't work anymore. This is what I do. I am hoping to be able to get my channel up, so to the point where it'll bring in more than $5 or $6. And that's the way it goes, unfortunately. Melvin, it's just the way it goes. Yeah, I agree, Ken. She looked great, and I appreciate her so much for coming on. Yeah, I know, Pat. You're retired also, and that's something that you have to save up for. And like you said, you saved for years for that, and that's wonderful. So yeah, one of these days, whenever I grow up, yeah, it's just the way it goes anymore, and unfortunate. We'll see what the future brings. I live in hope that, the economy is right on the verge. It's right on the verge of booming, going on a real economic boom. And there's so much technology, new technology that will be coming about. Things are going to change, and it's going to change quick. And for the better. Some things, there'll be other sides that'll try to bring it down, make it bad. But I live in prayerful hope and faith that, I'm sorry, my voice is going here. Vitamin water. Things will get better, guys. Wendell bringing the spice. Patrick, more like flea powder. Well, guys, again, I wanted to thank Tara. She's my very first member. Thank you. Thank you so much, Tara. Whenever I am able, there's going to be, for the members, like I said, whenever I'm able, there will be things that I will do for the members. I will be a little bit more available to helping. Well, not really helping. I help everyone. You ask me, I help everyone. You ask me any question, I'm here. I'm here for everyone. It's just the way I am. You give me a call, send me a text or a private message with any questions. I will do my doggone best, my best, to help, answer any question or help guide you. You don't have to pay me for that. I'm happy to help, because that's, whenever I first came out, into this and I was searching, and I've said this before. I was treated very badly by the major organizations, and I vowed at that point that I would never treat anyone like that. I'm here for you guys. I'm here. I'll help you however I can. But tell you what, it's a little after 3, and I don't even know what time I started. Yeah, Pat, I was, I don't, I think it's just the way that they are. They treat you like dirt, that you're beneath them. And that's what they do. So, yeah, and that's why I am the way that I am. That's how I try to run my group, that I said, I'm here to help people. I don't care who you are. I'll help you to the best of my capability. And if I don't know something, doggone it, yeah, I will come out and say I don't know, but I may have an opinion. But it is what it is. Good recipe for homemade bug spray. Avon. What is that? The lotion. Heck. It's not a spray, though. It's more a lotion that you put on you. And I'm completely having Promethean from Walmart and Home Depot. Permethrin, or whatever the heck it's called. But then, excuse me. Oh, man. Avon, can't remember what the heck that lotion's called. But it's supposed to help with bugs and so on also. But that's my opinion only. Okay, guys, tell you what, we're going to shut this down. I am... Okay, skin's so soft, but it don't work. Yeah, unfortunately. It's like I said, I've only heard that. I've never tried to use it for bugs, but hey. Oh well. But at least the permethrin, whatever it's called, from Walmart or Home Depot, it's good. It works. You spray it on your clothing, and it'll last on your clothing for maybe, I think, about 3 washes is what it says. Yes, Sawyer's also works. But yes, Wednesday night is Pastor. Let me go back just to make sure that come on, scroll up. June 4th, Pastor Tom Fody. And he will talk about Bigfoot, his experiences with Bigfoot, his encounter. He had a compelling encounter out in Michigan in the UP area while he was hunting. And this is probably, definitely, this is about 10 years ago that he had his experience. He's been on Finding Bigfoot. He is a retired, I think, Army chaplain. And he also is a church pastor at a church in Pittsburgh, just outside of Pittsburgh. And he is not constrained by his church board in any way, shape, or form. and you can ask him any question. He'll give you his opinion, educated. The guy knows his Bible. I follow him, on Facebook, and he's always posting some very, very interesting opinion pieces. So yes, Wednesday, June 4th, Pastor Tom Thody. Make sure you're here. Then that's 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And guys, thank you, for a surprise podcast. I think this went very well, and I do appreciate, both, DeShizzle and Pat. I am so grateful to both for coming on and sharing. The Shizzle for sharing his little moment, the moment of revelation, really, and that's fascinating. It's a new branch to be thinking about, that very, very possible. And Pat for her and Joe and Jody, Buddy, or Bud, that is, and Angie. And thank you so much, Pat. Happy house cleaning, if you can. For sharing, her experience and the video and everything. And make sure you go to the website. Gary posted it above, so just scroll up, and Gary posted it. So click on that link and watch the videos. So guys, again, thank you. We will see you on Wednesday evening. Thank you, Gary. And Gary, we appreciate you. You just go above and beyond for everyone, for all the channels. And believe me, we appreciate you so much and what you do for us. Yeah, if you want one of my t-shirts, send me a message. I'll send you one. I think I already sent you one, but I'll send you another one as a thank you. Yeah. All right, guys. So take care. God bless. Monkey Wench out.